What's up, everybody? Got another video for you guys here today. It's going to be a vinyl collection update. Originally it was going to be all extreme metal, but I wound up running into a couple of things that aren't particularly extreme this past week, so I figured I should mention them here so I don't have to wait for a whole nother video to talk about some stuff that I don't find particularly warrants a singular video, considering I don't have many plans of going to record stores relatively soon, which, you know, whatever, that happens anyway. So it's going to be mostly all extreme metal, and I'll let y'all know when it kind of transitions into some traditional metal stuff. So let's cut on into it, because I think it might be a while. In the background, we're listening to Perpetua Nox Dormentia Est by Austerity. This is a brilliant demo from 2005. This is an Italian funeral doom band. So I saw this at my local shop some years ago. I've had this for a good handful of years at this point, and I didn't really know exactly what it was, but I was very interested by what it looked like. I looked it up in the Metal Archives. I think it said Funeral Doom, and then I left them there because I have this demo and the first full length. Then I was watching a Brain Smasher video, and he said it was really good. So I wound up going and buying both of them, and now they get relative listens. Not a ton, not a million, you know, not a million times a year or anything like certain things will be, but I really like it. It's a good funeral doom album, kind of ambient in a lot of spots. So check out Austerity from Italy if you have not done so. And we're drinking today. I haven't really been in a beer mood, so this is a spiked lemonade. Simply spiked lemonade. This is a strawberry lemonade. I don't know. The blueberry one was really good, so whatever. I got beer in the fridge. Nastarovia. Refreshing. It's hot out today. Not a fan. Not a fan at all. All right, so let's get to business. First LP, one of my favorite death metal albums of all time, Member of Immortal Damnation by Pertinence. I used to call this Puritanians because I didn't know what this word was, but check out that slick album cover. Absolutely love it. That's one of my favorites in history. Everything about this album is one of my favorite metal records ever. So this is a old school Finnish death metal classic if you have not heard this one before. LP variant looks really good. Out on Extreme Music, 2001 or 2011 reissue. I believe Extreme Music is who originally put it out in 1992. Same photo as there. Not the most actually, never mind. They look like a metal band. I was gonna say they didn't look all that metal. It's mostly just looking at this dude and this guy's funny haircut. Got the lyrics on the inside here. This is a brilliant record, man. So what you got here is, it's pretty much old school death metal, but there's something different about it, you know? It's got a really uncomfortable sounding riff style. It's really obtuse. Some of the songwriting itself is a little out there. Check out this vinyl variant. Beautiful. Absolutely love it on this color of wax. Looks really good. Great labels. But like I was saying, there's a lot of really obtuse riffage and odd songwriting choices. Like there's a part where the song kind of breaks in the middle. I don't really remember exactly which one it is. I think it might be Black Visions or Deep Blue Darkness, where like everything stops and the drums do like a steamroller kind of kick drum thing and a build up on the snare, and the vocalist does this croaky like rise kind of thing, and then it kicks back into this groovy part of the song. I don't remember the exact name of which song that was. I'm really bad with song titles, especially when you accumulate the level of music I do in a certain amount of time, which, you know, maybe that's a sign I should chill a little bit and maybe talk a little bit more about music I already own. We'll see. That takes a lot of self-control, of which I have a bit of a struggle with from time to time, as you just may have noticed. I'll put these back in the sleeve off camera for once. So pertinence. Next, amazing black metal album. This is Vinterland with Welcome to My Last Chapter. I picked this up off of Born Dead Collection, just like I did that Pertinence album and a handful of the other things that are going to be shown here. So, matte cover out on Black Lodge, which I'm not particularly familiar with Black Lodge, but this is a great reissue, man. So it looks really good. The album cover's not the coolest thing in the world, but they do have a great logo. Here's the inside here. Classic photo of the band. A little collage action here. Sorry, I thought that the music stopped. It's just being extra atmospheric and not even playing, which that's quite the atmosphere. And it comes on this purple LP variant. So, this album, if you're unfamiliar with Vinterland's Welcome to My Last Chapter, is a melodic Swedish black metal masterwork. Absolutely infectious and incredibly replayable. This is one of those albums that you could just play over and over again, and it is so much fun to listen to. It's got the Dan Swano production to it, so it sounds really good. These guys have a really good way of songwriting that makes everything super hooky. You know, it has that infectious melodic Swedish metal sound, and it's just something that I constantly keep going back to. This in particular is going to probably be a really high contender in like favorite black metal albums ever in years to come. I'm certain of it. If I didn't just get it, I could probably definitively say so. But if you do not have Vinterland's Welcome to My Last Chapter, I would highly recommend you go ahead and pick it up. Just pick up the CD or the LP if you really want to go for it, because I promise you won't regret owning it. It's just great, man. Vinterland is amazing. Next, we're going back to Finland with another Finnish death metal classic, Demigod's Slumber of Sullen Eyes. You gotta have this in the collection, man. There is no way around it. No excusable way to get around it. So, let's dig a little. Like I showed already, this brilliant album cover. These the children behind this album, especially the vocalist. I actually looked it up before this video. He's actually 21 in that photo, but you could convince me this guy's in 8th grade. But you could tell, you know, these guys are like real young. I don't think there's anybody older than 23 in this band photo, which is super impressive for how amazingly well written this record actually is. Comes in this nice, awesome gatefold. This is a great band photo. Absolutely love it. The old black and white. Nothing is more death metal than a flannel shirt with a nasty t-shirt underneath. I don't know. That's old school death metal, man. That's real old school death metal in my book. So, came with a couple things that are a little extra fun, aka an enormous poster. Like a real big poster of the album cover. The album cover looks a little different, calorically speaking, and it has no logo on it, which is an interesting thing to do, I think, but it looks really cool. Maybe I could swing putting this up in the living room. The wife might not get mad because there's no logo on it. Doubt it. Then it came with this book, The Oral History of Demigod. Succumb to Darkness. It's got a whole bunch of stuff in there. It's all books, a bunch of cool old photos. This is just a really cool pickup. Really awesome. Wow, that kid has an Impetigo shirt on. That's kind of surprising. And here's a couple photos of them these days. Really cool. And then it came on a nice colored vinyl variant. Semi-translucent green vinyl, which is really great. Svart did a really nice job reissuing this, just like they always do. Svart possibly is one of the best as far as, you know, reissuing these Finnish classics. Really, really do appreciate their good work. They're a great label, and this album is absolutely amazing. But y'all know that already. You guys have heard that. All right. Next is my favorite American black metal album of all time, and a contestant in the top 5 for sure for my favorite black metal album ever. Finally scored a copy on vinyl of Caladan Bird's Echoes of Battle. Super, super hyped. Super hyped to have this one. I'm always ranting and raving about this record. It's brilliant. And before you tell me it's just summoning worship, you're wrong, because it's not just summoning worship. It's very summoning influenced, yes, unquestionably, but it is not just summoning worship. Better look at the cover here. No glare. Back cover. Really, really great. It's got a summoning cover of Marching Homeward on here. Really, really great. As you might imagine, they know how to do a summoning cover very well. Let me make sure there's nothing hidden in there. Yeah, I'm just beyond excited to have this one in the collection. Finally, there's a couple posters that it came with. Yeah, this is the poster of Mortal Sword. I've always loved this poster every time I've seen it. It's a great photo. And then here is Shield Anvil's poster, which this is the dude from Visigoth, if you're not familiar, and a Gallow Braid. Another great one, but I think the other one's cool. Even cooler, I should say. So there's a couple projects that Mortal Sword is involved in that I've never heard, so I will get to that eventually. Here's a couple printed inner sleeves. Looks really nice, and it is on this brilliant vinyl variant. I usually really like a vinyl variant to adhere to the album cover, but this one gets a full-on pass, and it kind of fits a little bit with the aesthetic of the album itself. It kind of has like a blood mixed with water kind of look. Here's the other vinyl variant, or the other printed inner sleeve, and here is the other record. Really great. Seriously can't say enough good things about this. I don't think that there's a better description for what I like in metal than this album. It's catchy, it's densely atmospheric, which apparently for whatever reason people saying something is atmospheric is a dirty word these days. I don't get that. It's just absolutely engulfing in every possible aspect. I adore this record, and I am super glad to finally have the vinyl variant of it. Caladan Bird's Echoes of Battle. Next, got another good one here. This one is a record that I've just never heard until I purchased the LP variant, which is kind of odd because it's a classic. This is Sphinx with the album The Rack. This is obviously a classic death metal band. Perfect. Sphinx is The Rack, man. Classic record. Band from the Netherlands, obviously. Martin Van Drunen project, which I like Martin Van Drunen, but I don't think he's as brilliant as everybody else seems to. Century Media reissue. Here's a big rendition of the whole cover all together. You know, they got their plate from their school lunch in the middle, and then some kind of esoteric chaos in the midst. What else is in here? Printed inners. Very cool. This would have been a cool show to see. Sphinx, Desultory, and Opeth. But the old Opeth before they got the cool swirly logo. So I wonder if that Opeth show was before Michael Ackerfeld joined the band. Because you know he like joined the band and then took over everything. Here's the inside, by the way. I don't know if I showed that. Yeah, great record. Martin Van Drunen does his brilliant vocals all over it. and it's just on a black LP variant, and nothing particularly special there. Here's the other side. Yeah, casual stuff, but nonetheless a brilliant record. I mean, you gotta have the Asphyx album in your collection. I feel like any respectable death metal collection has to have some Asphyx in it. I don't know, man, I can't see a good way around it, but I shouldn't say that because there's classic bands that I don't care much about at all. Oh yeah, I'm not doing that right now. I'll do this later. All right, so that is the last of the extreme stuff there. It's going to be still metal here, but it's not going to be extreme metal. So if you don't want to see that, I'll catch you later. But this one here, I got 2 albums. I got 4 albums that I picked up from the local flea market by me. Just walked around with my my immediate family, you know, because I don't see them as much now that I don't live in town anymore. So I figured I should go say howdy. We went down there and it was a good time. So we have 2 albums by the band Krokus. This is Headhunter and The Blitz. So this is from 1983 and this is from 1984. I believe this to be the 6th album and the 7th album. These are great finds, man. So I'll start off with Headhunter. So this album, it's a really fun album. I mean, it's really stereotypical 1980s traditional metal. It's pretty much everything you expect out of it. But this band's from Switzerland. Did I say Asphyx was from Switzerland? Obviously, they're from the Netherlands. But yeah, so this band's Swiss. Maybe that's why I was thinking that. Printed inner sleeve here. Pretty cool. I don't know, it took me a long time to actually listen to Krokus, basically, until I picked this up. And it's great stuff, man. It's really stereotypical. The song Eat the Rich is great. Screaming in the Night is a classic. Night Wolf is really fun. White Din, Russian Winter, Stand and Be Counted, Stay Awake All Night. It's classic, you know, fist pumping kind of traditional metal stuff. I really do dig it. It's, you know, it's Krokus, man. There's nothing too crazy. This is an Arista pressing, so I believe this to be the original 1983 vinyl variant. Great Krokus record. And the next one is The Blitz. So this one, not as exciting, not gonna lie to you. First off, as opposed to the last band photo, you can really tell they're cleaning themselves up a lot. They're trying to become a lot more a lot more marketable, a lot easier to digest for the general person. Just print it in there. It does look really nice on this red thing. It looks really good, casual, traditional metal stuff, but this album just doesn't hit right now. Another Arista pressing. It's a lot of AOR influenced kind of metal. This one sounds a little bit more like you know, your White Snakes and your less exciting metal-ish adjacent style stuff. But it's okay. It's a decent record. I'd be more interested in checking out the Krokus albums from earlier in the 1980s as opposed to continuing down the 80s. I mean, this is only 84. But I don't know, I'll check out more Krokus stuff eventually. I'll probably check it out digitally instead of just buying it, just out of, like, you know, being a little bit more cautious about it. I'm glad I have it, but it's not going to get played all that often. I can say that for a fact. Next, this is the last 2, and they're both from the same band. So this is Walking the Razor's Edge by Helix. So you might not want to call this band a metal band, and I guess I wouldn't particularly blame you, but I definitely would call them a little bit on the hard rock and heavy metal side of things. So this is basically a AC/DC fueled hair metal band, I would say. You know, that kind of sleazy, popish heavy metal style, and it's great. These guys look kind of Van Halen-y, physically at least. They don't sound all that Van Halen-y, maybe a little bit, but Brian Vollmer is a great vocalist. He's got a really aggressive, kind of shrieky snarl to his voice, and I really like his performance on this album itself. It opens with the song Rock You, which is a like classic in this band's catalog. It's basically everything you would expect out of a really, really aggressive rock band in the 80s. It's great. That's like the song that got me into this, but Feel the Fire is a great song, but I really, really like the song Gimme Good Love Every Night. It's a great track. And then Six Strings and Nine Lives is a great track as well. Obviously, Darcy here on YouTube got his channel name from this album, I assume, considering he's Canadian, and this is also like the Canadian hair metal AC/DC kind of deal. But yeah, it's a great Helix album. And then Long Way to Heaven by Helix as well. Again, there's a very obvious trend. That was 1984 and this is 1985. Just like you saw with Crocus, that was a little bit more of a heavier, you know, metal attitude to it. But then you look and the next album, they cleaned up a lot. They got a lot of color in their wardrobe. They're trying to be a little bit more applicable to more people. And it seems like Helix is doing the same thing here. So this is about a year apart, which is kind of disappointing. I kind of wish that wouldn't have happened, but it did. So what can a guy do, you know? What can I really do? So this is a great AOR album, I guess. The Kids Are All Shaken. It's kind of a corny record, or corny tune. Deep Cuts of the Knife, Ride the Rocket. It's a lot of really corny, cliche 80s rock songs, which I guess it has its place. You know, this would be great on like a soundtrack of a movie, but I don't think you particularly need to sit through the entire album. Every listen, at least. I mean, there's a lot of select tracks that are a lot of fun. They're good, you know, good rockin', heavy metal-ish hard rock songs, but you know, it's not the most essential listening. There's not even a printed inner, just a white sleeve and black vinyl, Capitol Press. Nothing seriously exciting about that one. But yeah, so I guess I'll call it at that. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. A little bit different of stuff. I usually split it up, but I didn't want to have to do that. I'd like to file this stuff away and focus on some other stuff with the channel, being I have at least one more CD collection update, and then I should be good to start the album, or start the full collection videos. So I'm excited for that. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Keep it greasy.